Electricians have become an important piece of the societal puzzle. We've all become dependent on electricity after all, with tradesmen from the profession risking their lives in an attempt to solve our electrical emergencies. But as serious as the job may be at times, some of the best jokes tend to revolve around the electrical industry. So what are the best electrical jokes out there, and how can you explain them to your non-electrical friends? Well, whether you're waiting to be called out on business or just want to know more about the funny side of the electrical industry, stay right where you are, as we're about to explore some of the top jokes that electricians have to offer. So strap yourselves in and get ready for a hilarious ride, as things are about to get exciting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. Number 1. The 160-year-old electrician. The first brilliant joke on our list has to do with an electrician who ends up passing away in an unfortunate fishing accident. It doesn't really matter how he dies though, so use some of that creativity of yours to fill in the pieces to fit the humor of the receiver of the joke. In other words, if the person really loves drag racing, throw something in there about how the electrician passed away in an unfortunate drag racing accident. This helps make things a bit more relatable. Either way, the man finds himself standing in front of the pearly gates as a result and is welcomed by St. Peter and a brass band. "Congratulations," they all yell, and while the band plays his favorite song, which just so happens to be Anaconda from Nicki Minaj, the saint runs over to shake his hand. Rather surprised by this situation which is developing around him, the electrician looks up at St. Peter and asks why he's being congratulated. Quite confused himself, St. Peter repeats his question and explains that they're all there to congratulate him on being the first man ever to make it to 160 years old. "That's not true at all," says the electrician, who then informs St. Peter that he's only 40 at the moment. "That's impossible," shouts St. Peter with a rumble in his voice. "You have to be 160. We added up your timesheets." For those of you who aren't electricians, let us explain. You see, the electrical industry is a rather busy one that has electricians working harder than any other sector out there. So when St. Peter remarks that the electrician should be 160 according to his timesheets, this is simply referring to the fact that the electrician has worked more overtime than anyone else in the world. Not surprising considering how many men and women in the industry find themselves working for friends, family, and referrals outside of working hours as well. Number 2. The lost ear accident. Next up on our list is another great one which has a humorous take on just how dangerous the job of an electrician can be. The first thing you'll have to do is come up with the names of 2 electricians. For the sake of brevity, we'll say that their names are John and Dave, but it might be a good idea to use 2 of the names of electricians you actually know. This will, after all, have an effect of personalizing the joke. Next, you'll need to explain that John and Dave were called on to install some new wiring outside of the second story of a home in the area. As a result, they found themselves having to build some scaffolding in an attempt to reach this section of the home. With John standing at the bottom, Dave starts cutting away with a circular saw, only to scream in pain a few seconds later. As it turns out, he has accidentally cut off his ear. Being a tough guy, Dave calls down to John and informs him to please look out for his ear, which must have dropped down to him a few minutes ago. After looking for a quick second, John asks, "Is this your ear?" while holding up a bloody ear that he found on the pavement at his feet. "Nah," says Dave, "mine has a pencil behind it." Those of us who have spent some time in the electrical industry will know just how many electricians have the tendency to keep a pencil tucked snugly into the top of one of their ears. Pencils are incredibly useful on the job, especially when it comes to the planning of an installation or the marking of a drilling point. When catered to your friends, the joke can also be used to both compliment them by calling them hard as nails while making fun of them for their limited brain power. It's the greatest of combination and works brilliantly when it comes to the electrical profession. Number 3. Take the wife out for dinner. Electricians in the industry will also know how annoying clients can be. In the world of the internet, where you can research just about anything, homeowners have the tendency to approach electricians as if they know exactly what the problem is. A great deal of them also bark instructions when it comes to the carrying out of the job at hand. Whether it's how to drill into a specific wall or where to install a new set of wiring, this can get old very quickly. But since the customer is always right, electricians often find themselves following the exact words of the client in an attempt to secure more work for the future. One bad review could cause your business to come to a cracking halt after all. This next joke is one that makes fun of the situation and goes a little something like this. After an electrician has been called to fix some wiring, the homeowner stops by and explains how impressed he is with both the work ethic and the efficiency that the electrician used to complete the task at hand. After thanking him for the incredible job, the homeowner pays him the price agreed agreed upon, but then ends up slipping him an extra $100 while saying, "Here's an extra $100. Take the wife out to dinner and a movie, alright?" The electrician gladly accepts and thanks the man, stating that he's wanted to see the new Fast and Furious movie for quite some time now, but had no idea where he would find the time. The electrician then leaves the home. Later that night, the electrician returns though, this time wearing some casual clothes. Thinking that he's possibly forgotten some tools behind at the house, the homeowner opens the door with a surprised expression on his face. "What's the matter? Did you forget something?" asked the homeowner. "Not at all," responds the electrician. "I'm just here to take your wife out to dinner and a movie like you asked." Remember, the comedic timing of this last line is pretty important, so make sure to pause for a sufficient amount of time between the statement of the homeowner and the response of the electrician. This will help build suspense and take the joke to a whole new level. Number 4, the death row conundrum. Then we have the death row conundrum, which is actually one of the most famous electrical jokes out there. It plays on the helpfulness of electricians and involves 3 men who are waiting to be put to death with the use of an electric chair. The men are, surprisingly, a chemist, a biologist, and an electrician, who were all arrested in connection with some crime that you can fill in based on the crowd you're telling the joke to. When the chemist is brought forward, he's asked whether he has any last words before he dies. After responding with a resounding no, the executioner flicks the switch and the audience gasps in surprise as nothing happens. Since under state law the failure of an execution results in the release of the inmate, the chemist is given the opportunity to leave with his personal effects. But then it's the turn of the biologist, who's also asked whether there's something he would like to say before being put to death. "Absolutely not," says the biologist, sitting down in the electric chair. The executioner then flips the switch in anticipation, only to find out that nothing happens again. Scratching his head in confusion, he points the biologist in the direction of the door. The electrician is then brought forward and asked if there's anything he would like to say before being put to death. "Yeah," says the electrician, "if you swap the red and blue wires down there, you'll probably get this thing to work." Electricians will know that they have a tendency to often complicate the job further by truthfully answering questions that the clients have. The experienced professionals know that sometimes there are things that clients don't need to know, such as why an electrical box needs to be put here and not there, for example. And this joke acts as a commentary of that little situation. And number 5, the best one-liner. Last but not least, we thought we'd conclude our list with a great one-liner that involves the electrical industry. Simply look over at the newest apprentice at the job and ask him what's another name for an apprentice. And when he says he doesn't know, just smirk and say, "A shock absorber, of course." And remember, if you're already an electrician running your own business or just about to start and grow your own electrical business, you must learn the 4 critical things electrical business owners wish they had learned before starting an electrical business so you don't make the same mistakes. Electrician Accelerator has put together a free training video that you can watch right now that will show you exactly how to start, grow, and build your electrical business the right way so you can consistently guarantee profitable work, free up your time, all whilst reducing stress levels and allowing you to have a sustainable and more profitable business that works for you. In this free training video, you'll also learn how to generate a steady stream of jobs on demand and with predictability month after month in your local area without relying on word-of-mouth referrals. Also, how to stop competing on price with other electricians and escape your competition, how to convert at least 90% of your quotes and estimates into sales, and how to command premium prices and attract high-quality customers that will be happy to pay more. Make sure to click the link in the description and let us know what you thought about our collection of hilarious electrical jokes in the comments section down below.